So hello everyone, today I want to do something with all of this yarn. Actually a few years ago, I think it's already 3 years ago that I actually bought all of this yarn second hand. And it was with the intentions of me learning how to knit socks. And you can all see I began here. And then at the, what do we call it, the heel? I gave up. It was just like, yeah, not for me, I guess. I decided that I didn't want to make socks anyway. And maybe I gave up because this yarn has a lot of wool in it. But it's not soft wool. It's like an itchy wool. So I would never wear these socks anyway. So what I now think that I want to do with this is make like a little blanket, because, well, when you use blankets, you always have clothes on anyway. So you're not gonna feel the itchiness as much, I guess. Or that is my my thinking of this. So I have a little pattern in my head of how I want to knit a blanket. It is not going to be like a very big blanket, but I do have like how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rolls of these. Like in Danish we call such one for a key, like a yarn key. That is the direct translation from Danish. But in English I think maybe it's just rolls. I don't know. Please correct me if you do know the answer. I would love to know. But yeah, I have two solutions of what I'm gonna knit with. I have these two. I am thinking of using these 10mm ones, just because I want some air in between it. I want to make a little bit of a pattern, like make a rib end, and then maybe some hole patterns in the carpet. I don't know if I want to make hole patterns all the way through, but you know, I want to make a few details, maybe just after the rib or something, and then just make like a neat, nice, firm stitch. And so maybe I am going to use these. These are only 6mm, and these are 10mm. But what I like about the 10th is that it is very long, as you can see. So I can have more masks on, or hoops, or what you call it, with the yarn, so that I can make a bigger blanket without having to knit twice blankets, or 2 blankets, and then having to sew them together or something like that. I can avoid that with that one. But this one is not as long. I think this is only like 60 centimeters, where that, or maybe that is 60 or 70 centimeters, and this is like 40 centimeters long. So you can really feel the difference with that. And that's why I think I'm going with that. But I will just get started and then see if it's too loose. If I don't like it with the 10mm, then I have to go back to the 6. Yes. But I will show you after a little time when I have started. Yeah. Hello everyone. So now I have been knitting for a little while, and I am not completely happy with this, as I showed just before. There is a lot of holes in this, or not a lot of holes. There are big holes in this. It's not that thick as I want it, because I like thick, heavy blankets that I can really, like, it feels more snug. This is just too lightweight, and I don't like blankets that are too lightweight. I like them to way more, yes. I'm also using some more white, just because there's already white in these, or grayish white in this purple yarn, this one. So, and I don't really use white yarn for a lot of my sweaters that I knit for myself, just because I already have a sweater with some white pattern in, and well, as I said, I just don't use that much white. So right now I have a lot of white, and I wanted to use it for something, and then why not for this blanket? And then so I just decided to take this off the pins, or what you would call it, the knitting tool. And then I also saw that I made like 300 masks, and it became like insanely long. Like, look at all of this. Like, it is way too long, because this should only be like the width and not the length of the blanket. So it was like so huge. So I decided to do something else, and I will be unraveling this to use the yarn again for the blanket. But this is what I did instead. So I took some more of the white. I have both thick and thin white yarn, and as you can see here, I took one of the purple yarn, and then I took 2 thin white yarns, and together it is pretty great. See, you can't see my fingers through this, like, oh, you can just there. Hello. But it is much thicker, and it feels just great, and I can feel the weight of it, and just the weight of it is also making me already more warm, and I really like that. And then I also made like a rib pattern down here at the beginning, and this time I only made like 150 masks, so it is still very broad, but it is not as big a width as before, but you can see this stretches out a lot, so it is still a big blanket. And yeah, I actually think this blanket will be much bigger than I firstly anticipated. I didn't think I had that much yarn, but I actually think I have a lot. So yeah, I think this will be great. And then for the pattern wise, I just decided to do this, what would you call that? Directly translated, we would call it like smooth knit, a smooth knit. But I don't know, what would you call it? It is not a rib like this down here. It is just smooth. Yeah, but I would do that and then change from all purple. Here I have 2 of the purples, and then here I have 1 thick and 2 thin of the white, completely white. And then I have again here 2, 1 thick, 1 thin white, and 1 purple. And here I have 2 thin, or 1 medium thick and 1 thin of 1 medium thick white and 1 thin white and 1 purple. Yeah. So I will just like keep continuing to make these rows of these colors, and then I will just see how long I can get there. Hello everyone, so now it is done, the blanket is done, and look at it, it is so nice, so soft, and it became like, it ended up being much larger than I thought that it would be. Like, look at the size of this blanket. So this, like, I can almost only get it in on the camera, but it will be so comfy and cozy. Yes, this is the back of it, and I just used like a crochet needle to tie up all the ends of the yarn. And yeah, I ended and started here the blanket with this rib knit, and the same up here. You see the same pattern. And well, it's 150 masks wide, but with 3 yarn strings at a time. Well, it got pretty wide. I did not think it would be this wide. But fortunately, it also got pretty long. So it's fine. It's a great size. It's even bigger than the other blanket that I have made. I have made a blue blanket as well. A few years ago, I think it was 2 years ago I made that. So this is just awesome, and this is even thicker and even warmer and everything, and yeah, I just really love how this turned out. And I will definitely be making these rib ends on all my future projects of blankets if I don't come up with a even better idea for the ends, because I just like it. It is making it more like a blanket and not just like something that looks not done or completed right, because it doesn't have like an edge, because it doesn't have it here. But I think it's okay in the sides here if when it has it in the ends. Yeah, so this was my project, and I really hope that you find this creative. And like this one, I had like big leftovers. I had a lot of different kinds of white leftovers, and then I had like 10 what is it called, bundles of yarn with this purple that is just too itchy for making a sweater. So I thought this was the best idea, and I am so happy that I did this, because this is awesome. In this cold time, we can always use more blankets here. Yes. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. But yeah, you can also make blankets like this with like multiple colors, or with just having small leftovers. You don't need 10 bundles of yarns to make like a matching carpet like I did here, or blanket it's called. You can do whatever you want, and you can also make like other types of knitting stitches, like you can do rib all the way, or you can do some other patterns and such like that. But this was this blanket, and oh my, I love it. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It is so good. But thank you all for watching. Bye.